What's going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today it's about time we do a full walk around on the Colorado ZR2 build to showcase what we've done to the build so far. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with the interior first because there's a lot less going on in here than the exterior, but the mods we've done so far in the interior are the Chevrolet rubber floor mats that you can get off Chevrolet's website. Those were one of the first purchases we ever made with the truck, and well worth it, especially getting in and out of the vehicle all dirty and muddy. This saves the carpets quite a bit from cleaning. Kind of moving on, the next thing you're going to see here is our Oxbeam 8-gang switch panel that we mounted with the Badlands Industry mount here, vent mount that they sell. Super happy with this product so far. It's been great. So the only thing we have wired currently are the ditch lights, but the reason I ended up going with the Oxbeam 8-gang switch panel is it's super easy to install and to integrate. It's very clean, and one of the cool features, which I'll show you momentarily, is it has a app that you can control via Bluetooth. Here's the app for the Oxbeam. It's super cool. You could essentially customize the color that you have. So you can see it just changed to blue there, green, red, and obviously I have my yellow, and you can do anything in between. I just have it a yellow with the yellow theming of the truck. You could also, from the app, turn on and off different light switches that you have. So here, I just hit that switch and you can see the red light is on, which means my ditch brackets are currently on, and we can turn it off here. Another really cool thing that you can do with the app is you can choose what type of mode you want the button to be. So, you know, your normal default would be toggle. So you press the button once, it turns it on. You press it again, and it turns it off. You have momentary, which is basically you have to constantly hold the button in order for it to turn on. And as soon as you let go, it turns off the whatever accessory you're powering. And then the last mode that they have is pulsed. So essentially it flickers the light, and you can adjust the speed here. It flickers the light for however fast you want it. I would say that would come in super handy if you had chase lights. You could set it to a specific pulse, so that way it's constantly pulsing and it's a little more noticeable as the trail conditions are dusty. Moving on with the rest of the interior, as you can see here, I have my Midland MTX 275 radio mounted right here, and if you want to see how that's installed, I have a full YouTube video on that on the channel. Make sure to go check that out after this video. And then that is mounted to the Bullet Point Solutions mount that they have, that integrates right behind the screen, and they have different accessories. As you can see, we have the arm for the radio holder, and then we also have the accessory for the GoPro mount to obviously mount our GoPros to record when we're off-roading and such. The other modification that I did on the inside up here is I did wrap myself, which as you can see, it's not the best wrap job in the world. I definitely need to redo this, but I wrapped it with a vinyl wrap that's like a shadow camo that's very similar to what's on the dash here. If you're not familiar, what's under here is like a gloss piano black that was getting scratched super easily, and it was kind of annoying, so I ended up wrapping it so it wasn't getting scratched up and not as much glare coming off of it. The only other big modification that we've done is actually what's behind me, so let me go show you what it is. The last big interior mod that we've done, as you see, actually this is brand new, first time seeing it, is the rear seat delete that I made. So basically, if you've been following the channel for a while, this is actually, the bottom piece is actually the Ranger rear seat delete that I made, kind of cut down a little bit, and then the back is completely new. But basically, eventually I'm going to have some tie downs and different things up here mounted so we can store stuff along this back wall here. And then the bottom panel, obviously now we can put a bunch of more items that we're going to take on our trips in here, which is super nice and a lot more usable space than with the rear seats. Underneath the hood, there's not much going on as of yet. That will soon change in the future. But what we do got going on is we have the positive and negative connections coming up from the auxiliary battery in the camper topper, connecting to our starter battery, and then the aux beam fuse box / control panel where everything wires up to is back here. As you can see, it's nicely, cleanly integrated, super easy install. By the way, all the products I'll be talking about today, they'll be linked down in the description, so make sure to go check them out. And without further ado, let's move out to the exterior. Working our way front to back, what we started off with is we have just a few aesthetic changes that I had made initially, and that is doing all the yellow accents you see on the front of the truck. That was all done by me and painted by me. For the badges, they just simply pop off, and then the tow hooks, unbolted them and painted them myself. Moving around, probably one of the biggest things you notice are the wheels and tires are a lot different, and that's because they are. What we got as far as the wheels are the Method Bead Grip 705s, which are a 17 by 8.5 with a +0 offset. And wrapped around those are the Wildpeak AT3Ws 315/70 R17. Those tires, if you've been around, may look familiar, and that's because those are the same tires that were on our previous build, the Ranger that we had. And then the last thing on this kind of front is we have the Apex rapid tire deflators on here that have been fantastic for airing down. Going into our suspension setup, front and center, we have the leveled up tie rod sleeves. We also have the leveled up, was originally a 2-inch lift, their 2-inch lift, which has the sleeve collar down here for the springs, and then the 1-inch puck up top, which sat perfectly without the weight we had on the rear of the truck. But once we got that, it was a little too much, so I ended up taking out the 1-inch spacer up top, and essentially now it is just a 1-inch lift that we have up here. We also have the custom sway bar and link quick disconnects that my brother had made for me that have been working fantastic. And then we also have the leveled up 1-inch differential, front differential drop that you can see back there with the bushing in place. All right, moving to the underside back end of the truck. The few modifications that I've made back here so far are the custom rear diff breather tube that I made, because the factory breather tube is only about 6 inches, and for peace of mind, I wasn't comfortable with that, so I actually ended up buying some hose and running it all the way to basically where the driver's side rear tail light is. That's where the breather hose now comes out to. Going on to the suspension, we have the Devers Expedition leaf pack going on up here with a IBAC 1.5-inch lift block. And then further down for the rear shock skids, those are from Leveled Up. And then we also have from Leveled Up a 1-inch rear shackle for the leaf springs. Starting up here, we got the CCE ditch light bracket, and then mounted onto that is the Light Force Rock 40 ditch lights. These are the same lights that came off the Ranger build. They were just transferred over and have been a fantastic light, and that's why I ended up transferring these lights, because they're super bright and they've been reliable, so have no complaints with those. And then on the other side, you can see I have an upgraded radio antenna versus what comes standard with the Midland 275 radio, GMRS radio. Upgraded that antenna and hard mounted it onto the ditch light bracket. Moving down onto here, obviously with the bigger tires, we started getting a lot more rocks being thrown at the side of the doors. So to combat that, we got the Rock Blocks mud flaps front and rear. And honestly, these things have been fantastic. I had my doubts. I thought I was going to end up ripping them off on a few trails, but they simply just ended up bending out of the way and bending right back. So far, I can 10 out of 10 recommend those. Moving on further back, we got obviously the big Mamma Jamma here, the Harker Outdoors EXO camper topper that has been fantastic. I have a full walk around video if you're interested on the channel. Make sure to go check that out after this video. Further along, we have the DFG off-road shower tent that has been fantastic. And we have the action tracks here, 2 of them mounted up on the side. And then last but not least, we got a fire extinguisher just in case of emergencies. Very important for anybody, anytime you go off-road, off-grid, to carry a fire extinguisher for a just in case scenario. You never know if your vehicle will catch fire or another vehicle while you're going down the trail catch fire, or even maybe a campfire that gets out of control. Always make sure you have a fire extinguisher somewhere on your vehicle. On this side of the topper, we got our OVS 270 LT awning that has been great for those hot summer days like this today, where you got a lot of sun, provides plenty of shade. And then we have our Harker Outdoors mount and our 13-pound propane tank that we have mounted on the side. And that's a wrap of our Stage 1 2023 Colorado ZR2 build. There's obviously a lot more stuff to come to the build, but this is kind of our first version of it. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more awesome content like this, and we'll see you guys in the next video.